Sunshine State, Valley Sports Sun, and Valley Sports Florida. The heart of the fan.
Along the banks of the mighty Mississippi, the Marlins and Cardinals play the middle game of a 3-game series. Miami looking to end a 7-game skid on the road, also looking for its first win of the second half. But they welcome back Edward Cabrera today, so a nice addition to the rotation that needs to straighten some things out as the Marlins enter that stretch run. A couple of weeks left until the trade deadline, and the Marlins in the thick of things when it comes to the postseason race. Inside the broadcast booth, Paul Severino and Gabby Sanchez. We seem calm, right? No panic with these Marlins.
No.
None.
No panic at all. It's only 4 games. We've seen it before, and then all of a sudden they bounce back and they start running off a lot of wins in a row. It happens. It's baseball. It's just going to be nice to see them get back on track.
All right, well, let's take a look at how the second half, I should say, has started for the Marlins. And again, 0-4, they got swept in Baltimore against a really good Baltimore Orioles team. And these Cardinals have been playing some better baseball as well lately, so the Marlins have had their hands full.
Yeah, it's only a -7 differential. They're not getting blown out. They're right in the games. They're coming back late. I look at the hitters. They were hitting .254 batting average, a .301 on base. Yes, the pitching has been a little bit down, but the pitching has carried this team the whole entire year so far. So they're going to have their little bit of downs. They're going to get back on track. Everything is going to be fine. One of the biggest things that I see, though, if you are a hitter, got to do a better job with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, they've had some opportunities, haven't been able to cash in, and as you saw, a -7 run differential over 4 games, so a lot of tight games. It's the difference of a hit here or there, and that's what the Cardinals did last night. They got the hits here or there, and it was the top of their order. A few guys that might be in some trade discussions, at least in the rumor mill. Dylan Carlson, Paul Goldschmidt, and Nolan Arenado all doing damage.
Yeah, they all did damage last night, and it just came through in a couple big innings there for the Cardinals. They were able to just get those big runs. Dylan Floro gave up a couple as well. Paul Goldschmidt, he had himself a really nice game, going 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored. And then you got the big 3 guys. The Arenado, he comes through as well. He had a 2 for 3 day with a double and 4 RBIs.
Yeah, these guys are just run producers, especially the former MVP, or the reigning MVP, that is, in Goldschmidt, and a guy who's always in that MVP discussion, Nolan Arenado. So when you look at the Cardinals and why they're in last place, it really has nothing to do with their offense. So the Marlins will have their hands full. Speaking of offense, the Marlins got a couple of home runs last night from some of their young guns in the middle of the order, and Brian De La Cruz and Jesus Sanchez.
Oh, it's always nice to see. This was a cool one, too, a 3-1 slider, and De La Cruz was all over for his 11th home run of the season, just crushing that ball to left center field.
It's great to see the power, and there must have been a little home run lane yesterday, because that's exactly just about the exact same spot that Jesus Sanchez went deep, and again, seeing that opposite field power.
And that's what we love to see out of Jesus Sanchez. We know, sitting up here, Brant Brown knows, sitting down in the dugout, that when he is going opposite field with authority like he did yesterday, that this man is a big league hitter. You could see him hitting 300 easily if he stays with that approach.
Easy for a left-handed hitter to go to left center field?
Not even close.
Not at all.
Here. It's hard for a righty to go left center here.
All right, let's talk about pitching now. And as we mentioned earlier, the Marlins get Edward Cabrera back for the first time in a little more than a month. He's gotten outs on a lot of balls outside the zone.
That just goes to show the movement that he has on his pitches. And a lot of those times, he would actually start off guys with strikes. So guys would have to then swing, but he is so nasty. The changeup, the sinker, he moves so much that guys are going to have to swing. It looks like it's coming across the plate, and by the time they go to get the bat head there, and he's throwing hard, it's off the zone. You're either hitting it poorly or you're striking out.
Upstairs to Brendan Donovan. So we discussed it a little bit in a light manner, of course. Would we see him for the 6th inning? And obviously he's out there, but also facing this Cardinals top of the order for a 3rd time now. And Donovan sends a fly ball out to right field. And into the Cardinals bullpen.
Yeah, Brendan Donovan gets a slider. It's a hanging slider over the heart of the plate. Down low. And when you're facing a lefty and you throw something down in the zone, they hit that ball a long way.
Well, one home run will not spoil a terrific return. First start in a little more than a month for Edward Cabrera. Not the way that I'm sure he wanted it to end, but just a couple of hits and the one run on the home run. 1-1, bottom of the sixth. Marlins make the Florida Lottery call to the bullpen.
Get those big outs, and none bigger than right now in this inning. You have a guy on second with no outs. You have the top of the lineup up. It's time to bear down here.
Brendan Donovan at the plate. Corners are on the grass. No sign of the bunt for Donovan, who takes 95 on the corner for strike one.
Interesting, too, that they're not going to bunt. Knowing that all you need is one, and then you're in the top of the lineup with guys who are coming up. They're lefty-lefty.
High fly out toward right field for Soler. DeYoung tags, but not going. So, one out. And that will bring up Paul Goldschmidt. So Paul Goldschmidt has had some success against the Marlins in walk-off scenarios. This was June 15th, 2021. And he had that walk-off home run. He's had 11 walk-offs in one way or another.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about those walk-offs this one, because I'm going to intentionally walk them and put them on first and set up a double play.
Yeah, 2 walk-offs against the Marlins in 2019 and 2021. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 walk-off homers, too. So, anyway, worry about that another time. Here's Nootbaar. Takes one outside. Now, what that walk does on a number of different levels is it gets that clutch bat out of the box, but also sets up the force at any base. Creates a double play situation. Segura in tight at third as Nootbaar fouls it back. DeYoung at second, Goldschmidt at first, 1-1 coming. That's to third. Segura had to wait for a rise to get there, and they will only get the one.
That's a tough play, because for Segura, his whole entire thought process is, if I get this ball, I'm going to go over to second. We're going to turn a double play. He gets the ground ball, and usually on those type of plays, because a rise is playing so over, you would want to at least talk with whoever's going to be covering. John Birdie, maybe before the play, would tell him, hey, I got you on a ground ball to you. The problem was the way that that ball was hit. John Birdie actually tried to go behind, thinking that that ball might be in a different spot. Nobody was there. Luckily, Arise was able to get there and at least able to get the force out.
Yeah, he was well off the bag, and it took him a while to get there. Anyway, first and third now. Winning run 90 feet away, and Arenado at the plate, and there's strike one. 6 walk-off hits. His last was against the Diamondbacks a few years ago. His most recent is tonight. A 3-run walk-off homer for Nolan Arenado, and the Marlins have dropped to 0-5 since the All-Star break. And they have lost 8 in a row on the road. Here's the game winner.
Challenge fastball against a good fastball hitter. And Arenado was all over this pitch.
Well, you could throw it around, I guess, and debate for a moment whether or not with Arenado, the way that he's, I mean, great against everybody, but hurt the Marlins this year. What's that? Another 3 RBIs, gives him 11 ribbies against the Marlins this year. But you got Contreras in the on-deck circle. What is your thought process on that?
You know, you look at Arenado in today's game. He did strike out the first 2 ABs, and then he walked and got the base hit. Contreras was struggling today. He was 0 for 4. It's just tough, though, to load the bases up and basically telling your pitcher, hey, you can't make a mistake here against a guy like Contreras who's been swinging the bat well. It's one of those situations where you went your power against power, and the hitter won this time.
Well, a frustrating night for the Marlins. They had their opportunities. The Cardinals cash in with a walk-off. We'll send it back down to South Florida. Craig and Nelly.